The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. President Marcos says the government is doing everything in its power to bring home safely the 17 Filipino seafarers held hostage by Houthi rebels in Yemen. In a statement released by the palace, Marcos says the Foreign Affairs Department is now in coordination with its counterparts in Iran, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia for updates. The Migrant Workers Department is meanwhile in regular communication with the hostages' families. The Yemeni rebel group, believed to be an ally of Iran and Palestine, seized the cargo vessel Galaxy Leader over its supposed ties with Israel in retaliation for the nation's offensive in Gaza. The group took hostage the ship's 25 crew members, including 17 Filipinos. The DMW has already assured the families of the seafarers of support and assistance from the government. The United States is now considering designating Houthi rebels a terrorist organization following the Red Sea incident. Over in Gaza, 2 Filipinos have been reportedly hostage by Palestinian militant group Hamas. Israeli ambassador to the Philippines, Ilan Fluss, told the Philippine Star that there is still no information on the 2 missing Filipinos. The envoy said the embassy continues to request confirmation and additional information on the reported kidnapping. His statement comes after Israel approved the deal that will see the release of 50 hostages held by Hamas during a 4-day pause in fighting. 8 more overseas Filipino workers have returned home from Lebanon amid the continuing tensions in the Middle East. The OFWs landed in Manila on Wednesday night via Qatar Airways. DMW officials and personnel were present to welcome the 9th batch of returning Filipinos from Lebanon. Their return comes amid escalating tensions between Israeli forces and Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, allegedly sympathetic to Hamas. The DMW said the government has prepared assistance for Filipinos who chose not to return abroad.
Gusto ko na pong umuwi dahil sa sitwasyon po doon sa Lebanon hindi po na maganda dahil sa parte pong South talagang ginegera, magulo. At tapos doon sa natatakot po ako na baka pati doon sa North.
Tuwan-tuwa sila kasi magandang panimula yung at the very least 125,000 pag-uwi. Magandang panimula yung pantawid until makahanap sila ng trabaho.
Meanwhile, authorities are also expecting the arrival of 42 Filipinos from Israel later today. This will bring the number of repatriates from Israel close to 300 individuals.
42 ang dadating, that will bring us to 248, 298. And then the next day may isa, so 299. By Friday, 299 ang nakarating sa Israel. Alert level 2 pa lang tayo sa Israel, which means wala pang voluntary repatriation. But at the same time, meron na mga gusto umuwi.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Hundreds of houses in northern Samar were damaged due to landslides and flooding. The local government of Lope de Vega in northern Samar tallies over 200 houses partially damaged and 7 homes completely destroyed. However, the LGU says the most they can do for residents is to distribute food packs. The LGU says funding is still limited, given that community polls have just concluded recently. In Catarman, several communities also saw felled trees and muddy streets. Meanwhile, a state of calamity has been declared over eastern Samar. That's also due to the incessant rainfall and massive flooding brought about by the low-pressure area and shear line. Meanwhile, the shear line, or convergence of cold and warm winds, will continue to bring cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over southern Luzon, namely Palawan, Quezon Province, and Bicol region. The northeast monsoon, on the other hand, will continue to affect northern and central Luzon, as well as Metro Manila. The rest of the country may see isolated rain showers due to localized thunderstorms. House Committee on Human Rights Chairman Benny Abante believes it is high time for the Philippines to cooperate with the International Criminal Court's drug war probe, as it shows the international community the country's resolve to comply with the rule of law. Speaking to the big story, Abante says the ICC probe should be allowed so that investigators can see for themselves if there were indeed human rights violations in the country or whether or not the country's criminal justice system is credible. Abante, who is a member of the House majority, says more lawmakers are now open to allowing the conduct of the probe into the war on drugs. But he admits that there's still uncertainty on whether resolutions for this cause will gain enough support from the House majority. The filing of the resolution urging government agencies to cooperate in the ICC probe was filed on the heels of a row between Congress and the Dutertes. Congressman Abante notes, though, that his filing of the resolution is nothing personal.
Darating na araw, dadami ang espekulasyon o haka-haka tungkol sa mga resolusyon na ito. We should not be distracted by this and stay focused on doing our jobs as lawmakers. Ulitin ko po, this resolution is about principles, not personalities. Hindi po tayo dito para idiin ang partikular na tao o grupo. Ang idiin po natin dito ang rule of law.
The LTFRB maintains that the government cannot scrap the process of consolidation for the PUV modernization program. Transport groups Piston and Manibela mounted transport strikes this week to lobby against some provisions of the modernization program, which they claim could result in the phase-out of traditional units. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista said the government is ready to give in to jeepney drivers' demands, except for their request to remove consolidation. Speaking on the big story, LTFRB spokesperson Celine Pialago explained that the agency has already decided to simplify the process. This involves submitting a simplified affidavit of consolidation by December 31, which reduces the number of clearances required.
What they were asking, ma'am, is to totally scrap the program.
Yes.
Which is, ma'am, hindi yun ang direksyon ng gobyerno. We can simplify the process of consolidation, but not to
What do
totally
you mean
scrap.
by-
On or before December 31, just an affidavit of consolidation. Yun lang po, it's an affidavit at least to show your intention that you would be part of the
So,
program.
intention
Let's now take a quick look at other stories we're watching. Today is the third and last day of joint patrols between the U.S. and the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea. In yesterday's exercises, a Chinese Navy warship were spotted seemingly tailing the Philippine and U.S. Navy vessels from around 5 miles away. Speaking to Bloomberg, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning says the joint patrol must not hurt China's territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests. Minimum wage earners in Mimaropa are getting a 40 peso increase in their daily take-home pay starting December 7. This will bring their daily salary rate to up to 395 pesos. And the Ateneo Blue Eagles dominates the Adamson Soaring Falcons 70-49 in the UAAP Men's Basketball Tournament, earning them a spot in the Final Four of the UAAP men's basketball. They will face the UP Fighting Maroons in their Final Four game on Saturday. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.